That's the part I tend to forget.
Me too.
All
Alana had to
right.
remind me last night. So
Yeah. Oh, come on. When I'm sharing screen, it gets grumpy about letting me let people in. Okay.
okay.
Cool. I'm gonna admit everybody, hopefully let people behave themselves. Yeah, I looked at it, I was like, wait, what happened to session 3?
I did 1 and 3, so we bounced it around. So yeah, I kind of got confused myself. So keeps it entertaining, right?
There we go. Awesome. All right, I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
start letting people in. You're welcome to hang around.
I'll stick around for a minute and listen, and then I'll jump out. See who
Okay,
shows up. All right.
let's see. Let's see who's here. Let's see who's here. Cindy is in the house. Tammy is in the house.
Hello.
Rosemary. Okay. Let's see. Who else we got? Makisha. All right. Admit all.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, hello. I suspect there's going to be a lot of admitting all, just saying. I think it's going to be a hot minute because there was like 500 people registered.
Unknown caller. Oh, sorry, that's me. Sorry.
Uh-oh. Okay. All right. All right. Let's see. I love seeing who's here. All right. Serena, Cindy. I'm not even going to try Maria's last name. Admit. It's going to be a hot minute of just admitting people. Just say it. Although I gotta say, it looks like women are sort of dominating the event here today. Go ladies. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. We appreciate you. Although I do like the picture on the front, right? There we go. Look, we all want to be as successful and confident looking as her. So do me a favor and in the chat, tell me where you are. Tell me where you're from. Okay. KW Empire in Brooklyn, New York. All right. Hey, everyone. Hey, Zarina. KW Gold Coast in Long Island. Excellent. Wilmington, North Carolina, Illinois, New York. What's the conversation from the boys? Cleveland. Karen. Karen's in Cleveland? All right. Cool. Me too. I'm in Cleveland Heights. Who else we got?
Pam, take note. Our Canada people showed up tonight. It looks like I
I was
was looking
just-
for them last night.
Yeah. All right. New York City, Innovate in Jacksonville, Baton Rouge. That's exciting. Okay. Cindy's in Cleveland as well. KW Metro Center, Arlington. I was team leader there for 5 years. Montreal, Quebec is in the house. Fayetteville, from Guatemala. Oh, lo podemos hacer en español si quieren. Manner. Hey, Marla. Marla's here. All right. I'm actually trying to get certified to do train the presenter in Spanish because I think it would just be way fun to do train the presenter in Spanish. Okay, admit all. I think this is going to be a minute of letting everybody in. Thank you to all the people who were on time. My mom always taught me if I was on time, I was already 10 minutes late. But people are coming in. Okay, so while I'm letting all these people in, somebody do the lift for me here and tell me what you got yesterday. And the person who instructed yesterday is here on the call, so be nice. What'd you get out of being here yesterday? What'd you learn?
We learned mission statements. This is Makisha from Keller Williams, Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Hi, Makisha.
Hi, Matt taught us about mission statements, how to create our own personal mission statement. So that was very helpful for me.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
All right. Oh, wait, are you military?
No, ma'am, but I live in a town that is military.
I can tell, ma'am.
Yes.
I can tell. Yeah, my husband's retired Army, so. Okay, cool. Who else? Who else got something out of yesterday that they can share with us? Mindset, mission statements, positivity, less negativity. All right, we got Shrita's with Greater Metropolitan. Excellent. Commit to achieve your goals. So Cindy, what does commit to achieve your goals mean?
I think it's about mindset and knowing first what you want and being able to decide how you want to go about getting there.
Yes, absolutely. Take action. Yeah, I'm a big fan of The Secret and all the nice woo-woo stuff. And my favorite line from The Secret, because I'm also a pragmatist, is if you sit in your living room and do nothing but visualize, they will come take your furniture. You got to take some action. You can't just visualize. You can't just think about it. You actually have to do. I was listening to a fascinating podcast this weekend. It's called Hidden Brain. It's a really great podcast. They have it on the radio on Sunday mornings at 7. So I'm dedicated when on Sunday morning at 7, I'm listening to it on the radio. And they talked this time, there's that famous study about, there was the researcher and then they got a volunteer that would give the person shocks if they got the question wrong. Remember that, like, super famous story? Well, everybody studies the volunteer and what got them to do it, but nobody studies the researcher who's telling this person to do this thing, right? So it was really fascinating to hear some of the research that's coming out on our influence on other people. So they had college students go out on campus and ask somebody to use their phone. So really innocuous, right? Like, it's not a heavy ask to say, hey, can I just use your phone? And they asked them before they went, how many people do you have to ask before you get 6 people to let you use their phone to call back here to the office? And they're like, oh, if I need 6 people to call back, I bet I need, 50 people I'm going to have to ask. And it turns out that they needed to ask like 8 to get 6 people to say, sure, yeah, you can use my phone. No big deal. And I thought that was really fascinating. So they took it up a step and they said, okay, go out, you've got this form and we want you to tell people, hey, I'm supposed to give you this pitch, but I don't really feel like giving the pitch. Would you mind just saying that I gave you the pitch? In other words, will you lie for me? Now, how interesting is this, right? And so again, they asked, how many people do you think you need to ask in order to get 6 people to lie for you? And the answer was shockingly low, like 9. Because what happens is that they would say, oh, this is wrong. I don't feel right about this, but they would do it because they felt worse about letting you down than they did about actually doing what you were asking them to do. So there's a message in here somewhere for real estate.
Fraud maybe, or forgeries. What are you
Actually,
hinting around to?
Oh, that wasn't the message.
Yes, it was. No, I'm just joking.
The message is actually, people want to help us. Rachel, human interaction is strong. Yes, people want to help us. So I do this whenever I teach, and I'll introduce myself in a second when I feel like if people are here, because we have 80 out of 500, so we're about right for real estate. When I teach, a lot of times I want to have an exercise to prove that lead generation can be free. And yes, lead generation can be free. And the example that I give is pick up your phone, look for somebody that you haven't talked to in a couple of weeks, right? So not somebody that you talked to yesterday, but somebody you haven't talked to in a couple of weeks, and just text them, hey, who should I be talking to about real estate this week? Just that. Now, okay, you can say, hi, and then fill in your name. You can say, how are you? You can be whatever the niceties that you want at the front end. I'm a high D, so I straight to the thing. And it is amazing. People want to help you. And it's so funny the reaction that I get, because some people are like, oh my God, I can't do that. I'm like, well, what's the worst that can happen? Right? The absolute worst thing that can happen is that somebody says, new phone, who dis? Right? Or maybe they could say, stop bothering me, but they're not going to say that. That's never actually happened. And I've had thousands of people do this exercise. It's never happened. So, okay, cool. I don't want to try to get into content when I'm realizing that I am like completely focused on trying to let people into the room still. We'll give it another minute. Okay. Anybody else that want to share what you got out of yesterday? No, I mean, Matt worked real hard. Sure, he did a great job. Nothing else? Okay. I'm going to ask you if there is any way possible to put on your camera, put on your camera. Yeah, Matt is great. We really like him. If you have ever been on this side of a Zoom where all you're looking at is blank screens with people's names, it's painful. It's really, really painful. So my request is if you're, in a place where that's safe and you're not going to get in trouble because you're at work still, turn on your camera, right? Just let everybody see who's here, see the people. You can't. I understand. There's some people who can't. There's an awful lot of people who can. Camera issues. Yeah, I get it. Just if you can, and in general, if there's any way that you can when you're on a Zoom, just in sympathy with the instructor. Super, super helpful to have your cameras on. So I really appreciate it. I can see right now, I can see Rosemary and Collector. Is that how you pronounce that? Collector? CIEC. Is that a C-I-E?
Yes, CIEC or
CIEC. Oh, how do you pronounce that?
I usually say try like you're saying Victor, but start it with a C.
I don't know. What is your name? It's Victor.
Victor.
So Victor? Really? Oh, interesting. That's a really great name. Where's that from?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. I
Thank
love
you.
it. Okay, so thank you, Geraldine and Annie, and people who have their cameras on, Patrick and Ivan, and Sharita who's driving. Ah! Try not to watch. Okay, cool. And people are still working. I completely understand. So yeah, if you can't, if it's not safe, you're good. So totally fine. So for those of you, actually, there's probably only like 1 or 2 people on this call who know me, which is always weird to me because I've been Keller Williams for 27 years. I started in 1997. When I joined Keller Williams, my husband and I joined Keller Williams in 1997. There were 3,500 total Keller Williams agents around the world. Today, there's around 180,000, give or take. And I'll just let you know that every one of us 3,500 take 100% credit for the extra 155,000 that have joined in the meantime. So we do that. I have been an agent. I was in the mastermind groups that put together the data for the book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. So if you're familiar with that red book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, if you look in the front, there's groups of pictures and I'm in one of those 2 groups of pictures, but you won't recognize me because it was a long time ago. Yeah, very long time ago. What else? So I did a terrible job of building a team because the book wasn't written when I did it, just saying. I have been a team leader. I was team leader in Arlington, Virginia for 5 years from 2008. Anybody know what that market was like in 2008? Yeah, until 2013. In 2014, I was tapped to open Keller Williams in the UK. So I went to England for a year and I opened Keller Williams in the UK and got that all up and running. It was way fun. And then I came back to the States where I was general manager for 7 Keller Williams market centers. Thank you, Serena. I was general manager for 7 Keller Williams market centers in the DC metro area. And then what? Then I took a hiatus because I was tired. came back and did some consulting, and now I'm team leader in Mentor, Ohio, which is my hometown. So I'm right outside of Cleveland. How's that for a journey? So be careful when you join Keller Williams as an agent, because you don't know where you will end up. It could be anywhere. It could be anywhere. As a matter of fact, I'm talking to some of the folks in KW France about maybe when I'm done with the team leader gig, being part-time in France, working part-time here, because, you know, when you master the models, you can be anywhere, which is pretty amazing. Okay, cool. So today we're going to talk about embracing your job, which is actually way fun in my mind. We are going to, this is sort of the path that you're going to be on. I know we're doing things a little bit out of order because Matt yesterday did Spark Your Career and Connect with Your Market. And so today, because, you know, why not? I'm going to do sessions 2 and 4 because, you know, why do this in order? Come on. Today's agenda, we're going to start with the 6 core competencies of any business. They will happen to be for real estate business. And then we're going to move into your role as a fiduciary for your clients. Now, hopefully you have seen the class value squared that Gary Keller, Jason Abrams, some of the KWRI leadership did. So it's about a 4-hour class. It runs through how to language your value to your clients. If you haven't seen Value Squared, the recording is out on KW Connect. You can get the reader's guide that goes with it. There's a workbook that goes with it, and classes are starting to be offered by people other than KWRI executives across the country. So I'd be on the lookout for that because it really does help to be able to language, especially in light of the NAR settlement. So starting with the 6 core competencies. We need to first lead generate, capture, and convert to appointments, right? We have to find people who need help. And one of the things that I like to say about this is you solve real estate problems. That's what you do. You solve real estate problems, and you are on the hunt for people who need help. I think that's a nice way to reframe this in your mind, because I think too often we think, well, I don't want to bother people and I don't want to come across like I've got commission breath. And yet there are people out there who have real estate problems that need help. So our job is to find those people, connect with those people, and convert them to an appointment with us. Then second, we need to present to them, buyers and sellers, and get agreement that, yes, I want you to be my real estate agent. Then we need to show buyers and market sellers. Okay, so far simple, right? Write and negotiate offers, which then become contracts. It's one of my pet peeves, you guys. We write offers, which can become contracts when everybody signs them. When you are submitting them, they are just offers. So if somebody says, I got 25 contracts on my house. No, you didn't. You got 25 offers on your house, because you can only make one of them a contract because you can only sell it to one person. Sorry, one of my pet peeves. Now you guys will all sound smart in your office with experienced agents. Coordinate the sale to closing and then manage the money. It's okay. That's pretty straightforward, right? Cool. So the first thing is that we need to lead generate, capture, and convert to appointments. The one non-negotiable lead source for every single human being in real estate, in my never humble view, is working with your sphere. Now, it's tempting as a newer agent when you are working with people that know, like, and trust you, like your family and your friends and your close neighbors, to say, well, they know me. I don't have to actually like follow a process. And yet, if you don't take them through your process, they don't know what to tell other people that you do. So please resist the temptation to not actually follow the process when you're working with family and friends. So we're going to start with lead generate, capture, and convert to appointments. Every single business, no matter who they are, has to lead generate. Your dentist has to get leads. Last time you walked in your dentist, the very first thing they probably said to you was, who else do you know that would like to have a good dentist like me? Right? Like they're getting so aggressive about this that finally I walked into a new dentist. They asked me the very first time, like, I don't know if I like you yet. Stop it. Too much. Too much. Right? Like, let me experience what you have to do here, and then I'll see if I like you. Yeah, sure. But right now, I don't know if I like you yet. So lead generate, sphere is first. And we want to make sure that we have a process in place to be talking to our sphere. Best practice is 36 touches a year. That's 3 a month. And please do not email them 36 times, because when you guys get a mass email, it makes you feel all warm and fuzzy, right? No? Nah, me either. Yeah. So 36 touches, I don't think more than 12 of those should be electronic. That may contradict other people that are in here. That's just me. I do have grandchildren, so maybe it's my age. I don't want more than, once a month is enough. That's good. But then you have to have a way to capture those names and contact information in such a way that you remember them and do something with them so that you can book an appointment. So please, 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 please use opportunities in command. So put your people in command and use opportunity. 3 touches a month to your entire sphere. Yep. Yes. 3 touches a month. And as you go through more of Ignite, you'll get more of that. So if you thought you were going to bail after tonight, make sure you're here for the rest of the class, because there's good stuff coming. Okay. Kim Giles is here. Oh my goodness. I wonder if it's the same Kim Giles I know. Okay. Here's what tends to happen is that we're driving down the road, somebody calls us and we're like, oh, we have a real estate lead. So you, of course, pull over to the side of the road, right? You pull over to the side. Please tell me, yes, you pull over to the side. Thank you. You pull over to the side of the road and you pull out, a slip of paper from wherever you have it. And you're frantically making notes so that you can follow up with this person and call it back later. And by the time you get home, you may or may not know where that piece of paper is. When I was team leader in Arlington, somebody called me one day and said, hey, can you do me a favor? And I'm like, well, sure. And we go in the conference room next to your office. Okay. And in the trash can, what is a Popeyes receipt? Why are you eating Popeyes anyways? Oh, no, wait. And on the back of it is a phone number. I need that phone number. And I'm like, I get a 25% referral fee if I give you this phone number. Because seriously, really? You wrote it on the back of a Popeyes receipt? That's why we have command. Yes, we want to capture. And the biggest thing is to book an appointment. Our value proposition, y'all, is not that we open doors for buyers. That is not it. Our value proposition is that we do a very careful needs analysis and ask thoughtful questions so that we can help make sure that the house that you buy is the house you love living in, that you get it for the appropriate price, that you understand the process, that I bring all of the people who need to help through this process, and I take care of the dozens of pages of contract and addenda and all of the signatures that need to happen. That's our value proposition. It is not that we open a door. So we need to be clear on, we need to meet with you, because I can't give you my value if we don't sit down and talk. I need to do a needs analysis, and we need to stop being order takers. Oh, you need a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a 2-car garage. Great. And you want to have at least 1/4 of an acre? Okay, cool. What school district did you want? Yep, check. I'll make sure you got that. No, we need to ask better questions. One of my favorite questions, and I'm just going to give you this one quick because I need to get on to the other content, is where in your home is your sanctuary? Where in your home is your sanctuary? Isn't that a great question? Right? So Some people are gonna say it's the primary bedroom, some people is gonna say it's the primary bath, some people say it's their garden, right? When you know this, you know more about them. Okay, then we need to present to buyers and sellers and get agreements. I will tell you that when we have a process that we follow, there is something for people to tell others about. Oh, wow, she took me through this amazing process and asked me questions I'd never thought about before. Okay, and then we get agreement called a representation agreement. I don't know what your state calls it, but everybody calls it some sort of exclusive right to represent, something like that. Okay. Show buyers and market sellers. Okay. In today's market, I'm going to tell you that you better know how to market a seller appropriately, because it's a tale of two markets in virtually every market I know. Either the house is selling the first weekend with multiple offers over ask, or it's sitting for 60 to 90 days. And the only difference in most of those is the price for the condition. The price for the condition. So we need to understand, write and negotiate offers. I'm going to suggest something absolutely radical. Get your hands on a copy of the paperwork that you use to write offers on, whatever it's called. In Ohio, the statewide purchase agreement, please, the statewide purchase agreement. In Virginia, you guys have promulgated forms. I know that for the Arlington folks that are here. And I want you to get it on paper, like get a paper copy of it. And I want you to hand write 3 different versions of an offer. Oh, I'm going to write one for a VA. I'm going to write one for an FHA. I'm going to write one for a conventional. And just make up scenarios and write offers. Pull up a random MLS and write an offer on that house. Why do I want you to handwrite them on paper? What do you think?
Because you may be in the community and find a buyer or a seller that's ready to sign with an agent.
You
So-
may. Yep, absolutely. And it's good to know what that paperwork says. Practice to make sure you read it. Karen, you win. Ding, ding, ding. Yes. To make sure you read it. I am convinced that 95% of real estate agents have never, ever read the paperwork. I'm just convinced that they've never actually read the paperwork. And one thing I'm going to recommend is that you never, ever send a document for electronic signatures that your client has not seen on paper first. I think we get ourselves into RDR realtors don't read. I wish that wasn't quite as true as it is. Yeah. So do that. Like any form that your clients are likely to see, please just get a paper copy of it and fill it in yourself. I used to literally turn the contract around. So if I had the contract, I would turn it around. I would face my client and I go, okay, paragraph 1 is this, paragraph 2 is this, paragraph 3 is that, paragraph 4 is this, paragraph 5 is this, and just go through so that they would know. And then I gave them a copy of it at our first meeting. I would know there was nothing scary. It's actually a great practice. Okay. Coordinate the sale to closing. There's lots of deadlines, lots of things that have to happen. I'm going to give you another controversial statement. I think that your first several transactions, you should hire a transaction coordinator. I know. Yep. I really do believe that, because you're already learning so much that wouldn't it be nice for just a few $100 to have a professional handle all of those deadlines and make sure that you're not going to do anything that's going to cost your client a load of money? Yeah. I hear people argue with me about this all the time, and that's okay. I'm totally all right with, like, you can have another opinion. I think you should hire a professional. If we're telling people you need to hire a professional because you don't know what you're doing, what are we doing trying to do contract to closing when we could hire a professional? Don't do your own taxes either. Don't be a tax for sale by owner. And then manage the money. Lord have mercy. This is where you guys get yourself into so much trouble in managing the money. It's not that hard. You just need to make sure that you are keeping track of it and that you're paying appropriate quarterly taxes and that you're watching what comes in and what goes out. The reason I talked about the text early in this session is that lead generation can be free. if you're figuring out ways to spend more money, stop it. First, do the free things. First, master the free things. Do all those things first. Okay. Any questions, comments, or ahas on that so far? No, not yet. No. Okay. Oh, there's one in the chat. Okay, cool. Transaction coordinator is a great idea. Yes, please. And you know what? From a compliance standpoint, I like it a lot. Michael, you like the idea of writing sample multiple offers? Yes, it's so helpful. So helpful. Yeah, it really makes a difference. It really does. Okay. So mindset. Did you guys go over the 6 personal perspectives yesterday? A little bit. Does anybody remember any of them?
Accountability is the one I like the most. That's the one I always remember the most.
Really? Accountability. That's so funny because you know what? Most people don't like accountability. So congratulations. That's awesome. Anybody?
Commit to self-mastery.
Commit to self-mastery. Good job. Who else?
Remove limiting beliefs.
Remove limiting beliefs. Okay, cool.
E to P,
E to P. What does that stand for?
entrepreneurial to purposeful.
Entrepreneurial to purposeful. Yeah. I think we got most of them. What's the last one that's left? 80-20.
80-20.
80-20 rule. Excellent. So I'm going to tell a quick story about limiting mindset. I honestly believe that I do not have a limiting mindset. Like I work really hard. I do not have limited mindset. So I was coaching a young agent who in San Antonio, that his first year he comes in and like he's this guy that's, you know, in jeans and cowboy boots and a cowboy hat, and we're working on his business plan. And I said, well, you know, what do you think your average sales price is going to be, with an average sales price at that time around, you know, $100,000? And he's like, $1 million. Like, what do you mean $1 million? Okay, limited mindset showed up on my part, which I'm a little embarrassed about, but I'll tell you the story. And he's like, no, I've got this really great idea. My average sales price is going to be $1 million. And that booger, his first year in the business, his average sales price was almost $2 million in an area of sales price of $100,000. Because he just said, I'm going to put together a plan and I'm going to work it in such a way that I am going to have a sales price of over $1 million. And he did. So limiting mindsets. I was embarrassed, but that's okay. You know, we can all learn. Sometimes it's good to have your beliefs, you know, called on and challenged. Go, maybe I actually do have some limiting beliefs in here. Okay. We still have people entering the waiting room. Come on. To achieve your highest potential, these 6 core competencies must be done consistently and done well. So we're back at the 6 core competencies, not the 6 personal perspectives. And yet, we need to remember that there are things we need to do. Now, I ask people all the time, how much practice time is in your calendar? How much practice time do you have in your calendar? And generally the answer is 0. I don't have any practice time. And yet I did the numbers. And if you want to close 1 transaction a month, you need to have 1 appointment a week with a new buyer or new seller. In general, right? Assuming your skills are pretty good. And yet, and that's assuming a 70% conversion rate. If your conversion rate falls from 70% to 50%, instead of needing 1 appointment a week to get 1 closing a month, you need 2 appointments a week to get 1 closing a month. The hardest part of this business, y'all, is getting the appointment. So skill is imperative. You need to practice your skills. You need to practice your appointment setting dialogues. You need to practice your value presentation. You need to practice getting people to sign the representation agreements. You need to practice. It's all about the practice. And the more practice you do, the better off you'll be. Now, who won the Super Bowl last year? Anybody remember?
Was it the Kansas City Chiefs?
It was indeed the Kansas City Chiefs. And so as soon as they got to the playoffs, they stopped practicing, right?
No.
No, huh, okay, and yet, what the Chiefs, thank you, Tony, yeah, when I look around at agents that have been in real estate a hot minute, they don't practice at all. At all. So I'm gonna encourage you to find time on your calendar, and I would recommend at least 4 hours a week of practice time. And so you might say, well, what do I need to practice? Well, let me think. You need to practice your presentations, buyer and listing presentations. You need to practice the paperwork. You need to practice your dialogues on setting appointments. You need to practice market analysis and pricing a home. Because whether you're working with a buyer or a seller, you still need to do a market analysis to know what the right price is for that house. You need to practice, you probably need to practice command. And how do I get into command and, you know, send things out through there, right? You probably need to practice some stuff in there. I think you need to, I hate to say the practice, but you need to understand the market. If you're working in a particular area, any house that comes on the market, you should be setting an appointment and getting in to look at, so you understand the inventory. Get out there and do. And one thing I've noticed is that when real estate agents find that their business is slow, activity breeds results, even if it isn't from that activity. So if you don't have any business coming in, go preview. It's amazing. All of a sudden, somebody will call you out of the blue because you were doing something. It's the craziest thing. Don't know why, but it works. Okay, ahas so far. Oh, preview, go out, houses that are on the market, you can go look at them without a client. And that's what it means when you preview, Eamon. Desiree, I need to find the best KW Command videos on how to do this in Command so I can have my VA do this. Have you guys seen, Marty Miller has a 66-day Command challenge? So Desiree, look at, just Google KW Command 66-day challenge and look for Marty Miller. He's great. Oh, I got Eamon right. And you're welcome. I do try. Okay, any other ahas?
I actually liked how you commented that even practicing command is essentially practice. Your
Yeah.
practice isn't always just about scripts, but it's also your technology and the resources you use. I hadn't really thought about it that way, so I liked the mindset shift.
Thank you. Yep, and add all the practice on your calendar. Look, I don't know if you guys have taken, if anybody's taken Bold yet. Tiana, who's here, is just getting ready to graduate tomorrow from our Bold session up here. One of my favorite Bold laws is it's not about selling real estate, it's about following a schedule. And if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. Which is just so true. If it's not on your calendar, it's not on my calendar, it's not going to happen. Like, it just has to get on my calendar. There's no way it's going to happen in my world. Cool. And practice, practice, practice. Yes. Well, I mean, the question is, would you rather do twice as many appointments to get the same closings, or maybe go ahead and do twice as many appointments and get twice as many closings? Right? Like, it is interesting to me that how resistant we are to practice. And I can say this because I've been in Keller Williams leadership since 2008. And I guarantee if I put a role play on the calendar, you guys don't show up. You don't. If it's not on my Google Cal, I'm not doing it. That's right, Michael, exactly. Tammy, so the answer to that question is, do I have paper or electronic calendar? The answer is yes. I have two, because my world is such that I have 1 week that I repeat over and over and over again. Right, so I have 1 week because I think real estate is a weekly business. And so my Monday looks like next Monday, looks like the following Monday, looks like the following Monday after that. Every Monday looks pretty much the same. And then every Tuesday looks pretty much the same. Every Wednesday looks pretty much the same. There are some weird things that happen in my world that require me to do things monthly. And I need to get a bigger picture on that. Like in July, I have to go on a weird day. I have to go to a regional meeting. Okay, well, that's a monthly thing. And I need to know those big rocks sort of monthly. So I look at them both ways. But Google Calendar, I find is easiest for almost everybody. Great question. Thank you for asking. Okay, any other ahas? Okay. So we have to now dive in a little bit on our role as a fiduciary. Does anybody know what the word fiduciary means?
Our duties and responsibilities to our clients.
That we have specific duties and responsibilities to our clients. Actually, if you are not a fiduciary, you don't have clients. You only have customers. Which I find is like a really nice, interesting way to understand the world. You can set up Google Cal to send you an email every 5 a.m. No, I'm not setting anything up to send me anything at 5 a.m. But anyway, so what I have scheduled, yes. Thank you, Michael. How about if you guys are on Central Time Zone, I can, anyway. Relationship, trust, obligation. Yes, relationship, trust, obligation. So there's a financial planning company out there right now that is advertising, and we look out for our clients' best interest. Does that mean the rest of you guys don't? Like real estate agent means we act on behalf of, and we have a fiduciary responsibility to them, our clients, right? Like all these words all go together, that we're fiduciary, that we must put their interest above all others, including our own, which means we're in for interesting times at the moment. All right, so see if they didn't give me the chart I really want here. We're not going to do that. No, back up. I don't think it's going to let me back up, is it? Ha, it is. Okay. Functionary fiduciary. In the book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, there's a really great explanation of functionary versus fiduciary. Functionary tends to be low paid ministerial acts and can be easily replaced. Fiduciary is high paid, high degree of trust, and cannot be easily replaced. So we want to make sure, and everything that we do, everything in our industry is about being a fiduciary, because that's what agent means, acting on behalf of someone else. Okay. Any questions on functionary fiduciary? Not at the moment. Okay. There's an exercise that we can't do because there's no way we're getting through 8 hours of content in 2 hours if I let you do the exercises. But a couple of examples that I can give you. So under lead generate, capture, and convert to appointments, anticipating the needs of someone in your sphere who's considering selling their house and following up with them would be being a fiduciary. Are there any way to follow along? You should have gotten an email, Sharita, with the link to the slides in the Google Drive. I'm sorry, I can't actually do it while I'm presenting and everything. I'm sorry, but go back and look for your registration email, because you should have all of this. You got the participant. Doesn't the participant guide have the slides? No. No. Look at your student material. Yep. Okay. Any slides? No materials. Don't know. Sorry. I'm a volunteer instructor. I will ask. Yeah, I know. They only told me so much. Okay. Let's talk just a second about managing the money, because managing the money is as I said, like a place where we tend to get stuck. A couple of best practices around managing your money. Would you entrust the largest financial investment of your life to somebody who wasn't a good money manager? I'm gonna guess the answer is no. Right? And yet we sort of take pride as real estate agents in, well, I just don't understand all that money stuff. So let's not do that. Best practice is right now, no matter where you are in your business, go open a separate bank account. It doesn't have to be a business bank account, but open a separate bank account that is your business account. Call it a special account. Just put your name on it. It doesn't matter. It matters is that you have a separate account, and then seed that account with a little bit of money. And then demand that your business fund itself. Demand that your business fund itself, right? First, make money. And that's why I keep harping on it doesn't cost money to get real estate leads. It doesn't have to cost money to get real estate leads. It just doesn't. It might cost discomfort, but it doesn't cost money. So set up a separate bank account. As I say, it does not have to be a business account. Oh, Kim Giles. Kim, is that my Kim from Springfield, Kim? I bet it is, because she's the one. I can't imagine that she would have access.
Yeah, it is
Hi.
Kim Giles.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you
I'm
for
excited.
asking.
I'm excited you're here.
Listening in to the master.
Oh, geez. Okay. I gotta up my game now, man. Okay. So manage the money. Go open a separate account. Get that handled. Then all your commissions go into that account. All of your bills get paid out of that account. You know, like the commingling thing, just get it separate now. Get one credit card that's for your business. It doesn't have to say business on it. Just, you know, take whatever you've got, do a balance transfer to something else. So you have one card that starts with 0, and then use that for your business. I promise your accountant will love you at the end of the year. And I have a business partner who's an accountant who does all like the money stuff for real estate agents. So trust me, they'll love you. They will. I think though, the NAR suit is going to force us to confront some of the poor behavior that we've been demonstrating. And one of that is being poor money managers. Like, we just have to be better about understanding our money and managing it better and demanding that it has a return on investment. Yes, thank you for the link, Kim. Cool. Okay, so everybody's homework is go open a bank account. Oh, and if you call it a business account, you don't have to, but if you do, please do not get a debit card associated with that, because a business account with a debit card is not covered by FDIC. And if fraud occurs, you are not covered. So don't get a debit card on a business account. If it's not a business account, you're cool. See, look, all these really interesting things that you wouldn't have known. Okay. Any other ahas? Other than now we know where the content, where the materials are. It's only 307. Yeah, it's a lot of pages. It's a lot of paper. Nope. Where are we at? Oh, got one in the chat, maybe. No ahas? Oh, come on, I've been dropping some good stuff.
The bank account is a good aha for me.
Thank you. Good. Anybody else? Got one in the chat. I have been dropping good stuff. I have. That's right.
I think
It's just
for
like
me,
you. Okay, sorry.
the biggest limiting belief for me is that people want to help me. And I think
Yes.
that's probably the biggest aha, is to just feel comfortable that people out there want to help me and not feel the opposite.
Yep. Thank you, Ivan. Yeah. Yeah. The suggesting get a transaction coordinator. Absolutely. Separate your business money. Yes, please. Lead generation can be free. And the no debit on your business account. Yeah, that's a big one. A business bank account, huge. Absolutely huge. Yeah, I mean, this is a business. Run your business like a business. Oh, I want to know, what books did Matt recommend yesterday?
Was it music?
Mindset and the Happiness Advantage. Plenty. I like, okay. Millionaire Real Estate Agent, I'm gonna hope. Okay.
You mentioned Carol Dweck.
Carol Dweck. Carol Dweck, I'm gonna tell you, is easier on audio than reading it. Just saying.
He also recommended Bill Jones, Exactly What to Say.
I literally just signed up for his 1-day workshop that he's offering. It'll be virtually. Normally it's $5,000 to go spend a day with him. He's going to do for Keller Williams only for $249 virtually. It's like June 24th or something. I don't know. I signed up the minute I got the link. I'm definitely taking that. Biggest aha is, why would they trust you with the largest purchase of their lives if you aren't good with money? Yes. No, I don't have the link to sign up. Sorry, but your market center does for sure.
As a new real estate agent, knowing how to sell yourself and your value was something that was really interesting for me.
Thank you. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So you guys heard about the success system yesterday? Yes. This is hard because I actually wasn't here yesterday, so I don't know what you got. Did you hear about the success system yesterday?
I don't recall.
You don't recall. Okay. Well, so let's see. Let's go into then just talking about nothing else about your business will have as big an impact as the number of leads that you have. Totally true. And I would actually take that one step further, and don't tell Gary I disagreed with him, because he's definitely smarter than me. I would take that one step further and say, nothing else about your business will have as big an impact as how many appointments you have with new buyers and new sellers. Because if you get a gazillion leads, but you don't convert any of them to appointments, big whoop. Big whoop. You got to get them in front of you. And being able to have a strong conversation about your value proposition is one of the ways that you do that. I'm sure I'm going to get in trouble because I'm going to give you some other stuff and go off script a little bit. I think one of the easiest ways to set an appointment is to have a fantastic answer to the question, how's the market? Because the minute people understand that you're in real estate, the very first thing they say is, how's the market? Right? And the first, okay. And most answers to how's the market are terrible. So try this one on for size. And the words matter in this one. So I'm a big word geek. The words matter. The market is fascinating and hyperlocal. The market is fascinating and hyperlocal. As a matter of fact, comma, put in a story. As a matter of fact, right now it's a tale of two markets. Homes are either selling the first weekend above in multiple offers above ask, or they're sitting on the market for 60 or even 90 days. Are you curious what's happening in your neighborhood? I could do the research and come over next week. Right? Okay. The other quick one, and Colin, the reason I don't like what have you heard is I find it off-putting when people answer my question with a question. And again, it might be my age. I have grandkids. That could be it. I could be a grumpy grandma. I do like having an opportunity to demonstrate that I am a professional in my field. And the question, how's the market, offers me the opportunity to demonstrate that I am an expert in my field. So all during the whole, like 2021, 22, 23, I would say, oh, the market is fascinating and hyper-local. As a matter of fact, I was just looking at the Cedar Lee neighborhood, and whereas 2 years ago, we had 1 week of inventory, now we have maybe a month of inventory. Oh, so the market's crashing. Well, actually, until you get to 4 months of inventory, or maybe even 5, it's a balance, it's still a seller's market. And what we're finding is that it differs block to block to block. Would you like me to do some research about your neighborhood and we can get together next week? Now, did that sound commission breathy? Did that sound like, why I sell you a house, right? Like, it's not, right? And I think we're so afraid we're going to sound salesy, but they're curious. They want help. They want to understand. It's a great excuse to set an appointment. And then you earn the right to stay in touch with them. Because if they say, I don't think I'm doing anything for a couple of years, they're probably moving in the fall. Just saying. It's just the way it works. Okay. Accountable people achieve results that others can only dream of. When you hear accountable, I was actually really pleased to hear that somebody said that of the 6 personal perspectives, the one that stuck out was accountability. What do you guys hear when you hear accountability? Ownership. Ooh, I like that. Taking responsibility. Taking responsibility for. I like you guys. You guys have got good mindset. That's great. Honoring, ooh, Serena, honoring commitments. Ooh, that's a good one. Set goals, hold yourself to what you say, letting go of excuses, researching, giving correct information. I like all these. You guys are great. Staying on course to your goals. Yeah. I find that most people actually do not like being held accountable. And discipline. So discipline is the word why I think most people don't like to be held accountable. And so what about this? What if you found the person in your world who could hold you able? Who wouldn't let you let yourself down? And you know who's perfect for this? Like an 8-year-old. Because can you imagine telling the 8-year-old in your world, if you don't have one, borrow one, right? But telling the 6 to 8-year-old in your world, well, you just asked them, what'd you do in school today? Did you do all the things that you needed to, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, well, did you get your appointment today, mommy? We don't do as well because we're no longer mothered. Someone who tells you to do what to do constantly. Yeah. And try it on for size. Like if you want to really be accountable, tell an 8-year-old, yeah, your 6-year-old niece. Perfect. Because do you want to go back to that person and say, I didn't do it? Did you make your 10 calls today? Yeah. Right. Whatever that commitment is. And so look for the person who's going to hold you able, as opposed to, I mean, if accountable feels good for you, congratulations. I'm really proud of you, because for an awful lot of people, it doesn't feel great. So that's lovely. Accountability is really a process of maintaining focus, of having that person that's going to help you maintain focus on. So Desiree said, nope, I did not make 10 calls today. Yeah. It's hard to maintain focus over time. It really is. And so having that person that will ask you, are you on track? Like I had a conversation with my coach this morning, and what's really interesting is that the 24 hours before my coaching call is the most productive 24 hours of my entire week. Because I said, I'm going to get XYZ done, and I'm not going to get on the phone and look like a dweeb by not having done it all, right? Like, or at least not having done the vast majority of it. So Yeah, I get a lot done in that last little bit before my coaching session, because I know that there's somebody gonna be there. Now, the one person who cannot hold you accountable is the person that you sleep with. Because that is a lose-lose proposition. Because either they will and you'll be mad at them, or they'll let you off the hook and you don't hit your goals. So that's the person who does not qualify in your world. Good? Okay. You definitely do want to have an accountability partner. It has to be somebody that you can respect and feel good about. If that feels like you can be messaging people, if there's somebody in your office, however you do that, find that person, because it will drive your success. I promise it will. But we cannot do it in the confines of this. The success system tracker. We're going to start with the first 3 things. We're going to start with every day having 10 conversations, adding 10 contacts to command, and writing 10 handwritten notes. I will tell you that if you can do this, most weeks you win. You win. Now, I am a fan of when you are making your calls, and I like using the database too, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. So the database 2 is 2 letters of the alphabet every week. When you go through 2 letters of the alphabet in your phone, right? Phone, social media, blah, 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 wherever they are. When you go through 2 letters a week, there's 26 letters in the alphabet. There's 13 weeks in a quarter. Voila, we talk to everybody once a quarter. It's really amazing how that works out. So 10 conversations. When you're having the conversation, add them into command. Make all the notes. While you're at it, if you need to find them on LinkedIn and connect, do the connection on LinkedIn. Make sure that you're following them on Instagram or Facebook or wherever else they are. Pull out the note and handwrite the note and then stick it off, right? Like while you're doing it, do everything. Do everything at once. I just find that so much easier because I've got it all right there in front of me. I go to secondhand stores and thrift stores, and you can buy piles of note cards for next to nothing because people bought them thinking they would write them and never did. Don't let that be you. Or ask around your office who is in Buffini and has thousands of note cards at their house that they're never going to mail. You can get them for free. And then just buy a bunch of forever stamps. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. The key to measuring is that we have to know how much do you have to put in at the top of the funnel for it to trickle down to a paycheck. And if you don't start tracking at the beginning and measuring that, then we can't know where do we need to improve. So if you're familiar with the economic model from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, we track appointments to representation agreements, representation agreements to contracts, and contracts to closing. If you're not tracking those numbers, and I will tell you the vast majority of agents are not, I know because I'm a coach and I'm a team leader, then I, as a coach, no matter how good I am, cannot help you because I don't know where you're losing. So track those numbers. That's where you actually will find the places to improve that will increase your return on investment without additional expenditure or work. Where do you need to spend your practice time? So practice the Ford method, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Why do we use Ford for real estate calls? Why are we doing Ford? Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So we're calling our sphere, we're doing a Ford call. Why do we do this? What do we get out of it? What's important about this? Oh, come on, somebody say it's to build rapport. We need to get to know our clients and their needs. Yes, Serena. More intel to be personable. Also, yes. Haven't got to the most important reason yet, though. Balance. Also, yes. Keeps us top of mind. Doesn't seem so transactional. touch for top of mind. Yes, all these are true. They're not the most important reason yet, though. You know what the most important reason to do a Ford call is?
To get them talking?
Partly. Please name for me a reason that somebody transacts that doesn't have to do with their family, their job. Ha! Tiana! Go Tiana! Tiana wins the prize. The reason people buy and sell real estate. There are no other reasons that people buy or sell real estate other than their family, their job, their fun, or their dreams. There are no other reasons. That's why. That's why doing this, yes, it builds rapport. Yes, it's more relational. Yes, it makes it not so transactional. Yes, it shows we care. Yes, all those things are true. And doing this will uncover real estate problems that they need help with and haven't thought to call us about them yet. And if we're doing it once a quarter, it's on the screen, Madeline. So it's family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So it's really simple, right? Like if I was calling Tiana, who happens to be in my office, I would say, you know, hey, Tiana, it's Pam. How you doing? Oh, how are the kids? Oh my God, they're how old now? What are they doing now? Swim lessons. Oh, cool. Right. Oh, so how's work? Oh, that's great. You know, blah, blah, blah. Got any DJ gigs going on? But right. Like, so I would ask about work. Oh, well, I know that you guys really like going up to, or you got any summer vacation plans? Yeah, we're going up to the islands. Really? Don't you do that every year? Yeah, we go up to the islands every year. Have you ever thought about buying a vacation home up there? Something maybe we could turn into a short-term rental when you're not using it, but you could actually have some income out of it. No, I never thought about that. Is that something that might be of interest? Sure, let's get together, right? But you see how the conversation can naturally lead to real estate. Come on, there we go. So start with your sphere. All of us have, you know, our phones, and we've got a gazillion contacts in it. And people often will ask me, if I'm doing the database too, where I'm doing 2 letters of the alphabet every week, am I doing first name or last name? I don't care. Just stay consistent. My phone sorts by first name, so I do first name. It works out about the same. Totally okay. And again, make sure that they're in command, that they're in the contacts. We know the research has been done. If you have 201 people or more in command and on smart plans, you are like 4 times more likely to make $100,000 in real estate. Which, by the way, I've been doing this like 27 years with Keller Williams, and every year since those 27, when I ask people, how much money do you want to make in real estate? You're still saying 100,000. Come on, y'all. Come on. Let's make that a little bit better number. Okay, let's wrap up this session with a couple of ahas. Nothing. Like, I'm working hard for this. Come on, y'all. Aha, the importance of Ford. Thank you. How's the market? Thank you, Tammy. I worked hard on that. It's not on my calendar. It does not exist. That is the truth, Madeline. Accountability is maintaining focus. Yeah, absolutely. If I understand your comment, you have a coach and I coach. Yes, every good coach has a coach. An accountability partner cannot be your spouse. Get an accountability partner. Any card. How's the market? Accountability, 2 contacts. Not 2 contacts, Makisha, 2 appointments.
Thank you.
Yep, 2 appointments. I wish it was just 2 contacts. Your response to how's the market? Yeah, any card. Any card. I actually went out to Note Card Cafe and I got some really pretty ones that I like a lot, but you guys don't have to spend that money. You can just go get any cards. Totally okay. Accountability to different ways to get an appointment without a hard sell. You don't need a hard sell. Practice. Thank you, Colin. Practice. The most affordable cards to get. Yep. Oh, functionary versus fiduciary. Perfect. Okay. Great. Thank you to everybody who answered. The daily success system. Yeah. The market is hyper local and fascinating. I mean, don't you just hear like when you say the market is hyper local and fascinating, like you're like, wait, what? Like that isn't exactly what I was expecting. And so people almost stop because it's a pattern interrupt of what they're expecting you to say. And they sort of lean in when you say that, like, oh, well, tell me more. And that's what I want. I want people to say, tell me more. What does hyper local mean? Hyper local means that it is very, 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 very local. In other words, so I live in a neighborhood that if you go, you can go like 5 blocks this way before it changes very much, but 2 blocks that way, and it starts getting into a lot of rentals. And I actually wouldn't buy a house more than 2 blocks that way. If I go this way, I'm in a completely different school district. And if I go that way and I cross the street that's at the end of my block, which is 1/4 mile down there, if I cross that street, this exact house would be probably $30,000 more than this one. Just crossing the other side of the street. It's super, super hyper local, right? I just moved here from Old Town Alexandria outside DC, and that where my house was, if you go 2 blocks this way, it's a completely different market, 3 blocks that way, right? Like real estate is really hyper local. It's hyper means very, 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 very. So think about 1 block to the next can make a big difference in real estate. Literally 1 block to the next. And if you happen to cross a school zone boundary, whew, could be huge. Could be huge. Awesome. Okay. So I'm just going to ask the question. So how has your thinking changed? And then just write a couple notes for yourself. How has your thinking changed? And any ideas or mindsets that were new today? And then we got to go to the second session, but I want you to just think about it. And then what do you feel differently about? I get the sense that you guys are feeling differently about how to have conversations and set appointments. Like, oh, there's ways that I can bring value and it's not just a hard sell. So. How will your behaviors be different going forward? What actions will you take? And last but not least, what tools, models, or systems will you use and how will they make you accountable? Hint, write down command. Just write down the word command. Okay. I have to actually stop share for a second so I can go to the next one. See, they gave me 2 sessions to do. This is what happens when you're master faculty. They think you can just go ahead and do it all. As you guys are thinking about your journey through real estate and KW, there are so many opportunities. There are so many opportunities. It is not even funny. Get an accountability partner, utilize command, and don't wait till it's convenient to enter leads. Yeah. Wait, who was that? I said it. You might want to actually have time on your calendar to enter your leads. Oh, you know what else is a really great thing to put on your calendar? At the end of every day, like as you're finishing up your workday, just put 15 minutes on your calendar and call it promise keeping. Because all day long, we make promises to people. I'll send you a calendar invite. I'll send you that slide. I'll share that thing with you. I'll do the research. I'll fill in the blank all day long. All day long, we're making promises. So just have a promise keeping time. The other thing having promise keeping time will do for you is it will prevent you waking up at 3 a.m. going, yeah. Okay, cool. So now we're going to session 4 because, you know, and I'm actually doing pretty good because it was about this time that we finally got everybody in and started the session last time. So I think we're doing pretty well. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the value proposition, what really matters to buyers and sellers, defining your value proposition, all sorts of really great stuff. Where do we get the recordings for review? Good question, but I bet that Kim will be able to put a link in for me because she's been bailing me out all evening. And if not, it should be in that email that you got when you registered. I added all my Facebook friends to command, but you have to do it manually and it took me a long time. You know what, Patrick? It's not bothering me that you have to do it manually. My only thing would be put your Facebook friends in, but call them or instant message them while you're doing it so that you're having a conversation at the same time. Oh, and put birthdays in there while you're at it, because why not? I mean, who sends you a birthday card anymore besides your mom? Right? Like nobody else sends you a birthday card besides your mom. And Blue Mountain, I think it's bluemountain.com, Blue Mountain Cards, but I think it's bluemountain.com. They have way fun, way fun, goofy, animated, all sorts of like congratulations, birthdays, blah, 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 all that stuff. Just check them out. They're really affordable. One of my friends sent me one and I was like, where did you get that? It was like William Shatner saying congratulations to me about something. I'm like, wait, what? Where'd you get William Shatner? So they have all these names, as long as you don't have a really unusual name. So maybe they'll have Sharita. Maybe, I don't know. I did check, they don't have Tiana spelled correctly. So will these sessions be archived on YouTube? You guys keep asking me logistical things. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know, but I'll ask. Yeah, I'll ask. Okay. The value proposition. So your value proposition, and I think the word unique gets us all stuck, right? A unique, memorable, persuasive statement that expresses the true value of working with you. That makes it hard. Like, how in the world do I make it unique? There's a million real estate agents in the country. I don't know what to do. Addresses the specific special needs of buyers and sellers in your market, states what you will do for your client, and holds you accountable to high standards. Whew. Matt said, yes, at a later date, you'll be getting them. Okay, cool. Yeah, so your value proposition. I think first we have to be clear on the difference between features and benefits. So feature. This house has 3 bedrooms. Benefit, your kids don't have to share a bedroom. Feature, the house has a pool. Benefit, you don't have to go to the community pool and feel icky going into the, changing in the changing rooms. Get the idea? Okay. So I really struggled with like how to language my value proposition. And I came up with basically a survey dialogue that demonstrates my value proposition in a way that doesn't feel scripted, although it is, but it doesn't feel that way. So, all right, try this on for size. Is there anybody that can come off mute and role play with me for a second? Who would like to do that? It's an easy one.
I'll go for it.
Okay,
Oh.
whoever that was first.
Okay.
Who do I have?
Desiree?
Hey, Desiree. Okay, so let's pretend that we're at an open house. That's my favorite way to start this one. So let's pretend that we're at an open house. And you've been walking around the house and, you're polite, but not necessarily like, hey, would you be my real estate agent? So I'm going to say, Desiree, thank you so much for coming into my open house today. Before you go, do you have time for a 4-question, 45-second survey?
Sure.
Thank you. So my first question is, on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being, oof, I'm really uncomfortable, and 5 being, I've got this. How comfortable are you with finding the house that you're going to love living in?
Not so much. That's why I like the open houses. I just kind of come and get to low pressure.
So on a scale of 1 to 5, what do you think?
3.
3. Okay, cool. How comfortable are you, same scale, with knowing the right price to offer when you do find that house?
I just assume I offer what it's selling for.
Okay, great. So how comfortable? Scale of 1 to 5.
Oh, yeah. 3.
Okay, great. How comfortable are you with having all the people around that you'll need in order to successfully be able to buy this house that you're going to love living in? You know, the inspector, the lender, the title company, the mover, maybe any handyman, any of those type of people?
2.
Okay. And last one, how comfortable are you with the dozens of pages of contract and addenda and all the signatures and initials that all have to be done, done well and right in order for you to actually move into this home that you and your family will love living in?
I'm really 4. I'm really good at reading the contract and making
Okay.
notes and asking questions.
Cool. So experience shows that by investing 30 minutes with me, I can save you up to 60 hours in your home search, and I take care of all that hassle for you. Is Tuesday or Thursday better for us to get together?
Tuesday.
Yeah, right. So generally what I hear is I get a 5 on the first question. I can find that house. I've got Redfin or Zillow or whatever it is, right? And then you say the right price and they're like, oh, maybe a 4, right? Because they're not as sure now. Okay. And I never no commentary about whatever answer it is. How about all the people? Oh, I don't know. Because what I want to do is bring to their awareness in a way that isn't jamming it down their throat, that you actually don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. There's lots of stuff you don't know, but this is what I do for a living. And by the way, all this whole thing about, gee, I don't know if we're worth our money and all that, we get paid less than a tip at a restaurant. When you go to a restaurant and you get really, really, really terrible service, do you ever tip as little as 3%? Never. Okay. And if you go to a really, really, really nice restaurant, you tip a bigger percent, right? Okay, so stop thinking that we're not worth what we make, because we are.
Are you open to putting those specific 4 questions in the chat? Because I only have the screenshot, and since I was dialoguing, I definitely would love to have those questions.
I can
I
totally
really liked, I really liked it, that, like you said, the subtlety of the awareness. I think depending on someone's disc profile or personality, the close at the end, when it was given the 2 options of when to meet, that works or doesn't work depending on the person on the other end. But the questions were really good.
Okay, so 1 is how comfortable with finding the home. 2 is, oops, hold on, wait, Gracie. Okay. 2 is knowing the right price. I can't type. 3, all the people. 4, all the paperwork. And then experience shows that by investing 30 minutes with me will save you up to 60 hours in your home search, and I take care of all of the hassle. Do I use the questions for everyone? You know what? It could work for a FSBO. It could work for a FSBO. How comfortable are you with selling your own home? Oh, how comfortable are you with the price you came up with? How comfortable are you with having all the people? How comfortable are you with, all the paperwork? Experience shows investing, 30 minutes with me can save you all of that and net you more money at the end of the day. which works better for us to get together, Tuesday or Thursday? That's just called an alternative close. It's a classic sales technique. Do I get pushback? Sure, I get pushback sometimes. And it depends on sort of the interaction that I'm having, how hard I continue to push. I think it's going to be easier to get people to meet with us now because everybody's going to have them meet and get a signed buyer rep agreement. So you're not going to get as much pushback. Yeah, you're just not. Okay. Top agents can easily explain what services they provide to anyone who hires them. I agree with that. I think it's so hard to put into a statement, right? I think it's really hard to put into just a statement that's clear, which is part of the reason I came up with the survey, is because people don't want an elevator pitch, and yet they'll answer a question. And if they answer the question, they're having the awareness without feeling like it's getting shoved down their throat. So I like words. I like thinking how words work. I like thinking how words affect people, which is why I signed up for the exactly what to say thing. I think that it works pretty well. Now, if you don't have one and you want to just be able to say something, we actually have the Y4C2TES, which is the Keller Williams belief system. So you could say something like, my value proposition is win-win or no deal. I ensure that everyone involved in each real estate transaction has the best possible outcome. Okay, right? Like, is it unique? No, but that's okay. It's a good place to start. Maybe the equity opportunities for all really speaks to you and that you advocate for underserved populations. Okay, maybe it's that, right? So if you're not sure where to start, look for other companies that have mission statements that you're like, oh, or value statements that you can say, oh, okay, I like that one. Let me see where I can go from here. Let me see where I can go from here. All right. So what are the benefits of the value proposition? Obviously, it helps your clients understand your value and expertise, protects your commission, builds strong and trusting relationships. That's actually what I'm doing with the survey, is starting that conversation about helping them to understand the value and that value is worth paying for. One of my favorite quotes, and I'm sorry, on my disc profile, I have no C, like I'm not compliant in any way, shape, or form. So I remember quotes, but I never remember who said them. But there's a quote that says, price is only an issue in the absence of value. Price is only an issue in the absence of value. And I can prove it because if you look out into any parking lot, there are loads of people who spent lots of money on cars that don't do a whole lot more than just get them from A to B. Right? Like they could have gotten a cheaper option, but there was some perceived value that caused them to spend more money on that vehicle. Price is only an issue in the absence of value. I used to teach a class that was called Defend Your Commission, and it was really about what's your value proposition? What are the things that you do? Value comes in different shapes and forms. Absolutely, it does. Yeah. And getting clarity, and that's part of the reason I really like that survey script, because now I know where do they feel insufficient to the task that I can provide value. The other thing I like to tell people is that sometimes you fall in love with the shiny and you're not going to love living there. Like we really ought to have a talk about what's the home you're going to love living in, not the one you're going to fall in love with. I really want somebody to create a workshop called Sweat Equity Workshop. Because right, aren't there opportunities for today's buyers right now getting a house that's been sitting on the market for 60 days that just isn't beautiful? Or the agent was lazy and used their phone for the pictures and they didn't make the beds, and right, like there's opportunities, but it's going to take maybe a little sweat equity. I think off topic, sorry. Okay. So here are some value propositions. Airbnb exists to create a world where anyone can belong anywhere, providing healthy travel that's local, authentic, diverse, inclusive, and sustainable. Okay. That actually a mission, but Walmart, everyday low prices for a broad range of goods, always in stock in convenient geographic locations. Taking out the part that we put small mom and pops out of business. No. Slack makes it downright, sorry. So Slack makes it downright pleasant to work together. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, hold on. Somebody forgot to go back on mute. Oh, too many people for me to be able to get to whoever that is to mute it.
What's wrong? Ah, what is this? Did you spill?
It's Desiree.
I know, but I can't get to her. I'm trying to find her.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. I just got 115 of you. All right. So connect to your value, right? If you're stuck, start with what does the Market Center and KW say? I think that's a really great place to start. I love starting with what we already say, and our belief system is a great place to start. The Y4C2TES are really well thought out. There's a cute little dance that goes with it. Yeah, so there you go. Connect on your value and really understand what that value proposition is. You can always fall back on, I have access to the collective knowledge and expertise of nearly 200,000 agents worldwide. I can point you to reputable resources. I can help you price your home to sell because I'm tuned into the market of the moment. I don't particularly like that one so well. But you could actually take that market expert and make that much more powerful, I think, right? There's ways that we could do that. Any other things that you guys can think of to that you would include in your value proposition? Or
I've
anything?
always loved the concept of the promise.
Oh, okay. Say more.
It's essentially, I'm not incorporating it. I don't do a lot of listing appointments, unfortunately, yet, but the concept of like, I promise to you that you will get this from us and you will feel these things and this is what you will get, focusing on them and what we commit to doing.
Yep. Yeah, I like that. My focus is you. Let's see, at least one person in here is bilingual. I bet there's more of you that are bilingual. Is that a value proposition? Yeah, right? It's a nice value proposition that you're bilingual and that you can help navigate Spanish speaking. Sí, señor.
Would you say that a value proposition can be tied into what you do if you're a dual agent? For example, like I'm a communication strategist, so I feel like that adds value to some of the things that I can do on the real estate side as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. You can totally do that. Okay, so Taz, ja stimmt? What is that? What language is that? A lot of English, Spanish.
It's German.
It's German?
Yep.
Okay, like I speak a little bit of German, but
Ja, stimmt, richtig, correct.
Okay. Oh, Arabic, Polish. See, look at this, right? Sign language, Rochelle. That's huge. That is huge. Albanian, Italian, and some Spanish, right? Like, so think about the service to your community when you actually are bilingual and can bring in some of those other languages and help people navigate the craziness that is the American real estate market, right? That can be part of your value proposition. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to manage people coming in the room too. Macedonian, Serbian, and Croatian? You guys are fun. I like this. Okay, so for you guys who aren't bilingual, what can you bring? I really like the communication specialist. I thought that was a really good one. What other types of things would be part of your value proposition? Any parents and top negotiator. I like that. Just make sure it's true, Joshua. Just make sure it's true. Relieve the pressure of the search. I think that's a really good one, right? Relieve the pressure of the search. So we've got an agent in our office that tends to work with like $50,000 investment properties. And she came across somebody who wanted to buy like a $220,000 condo. Well, if your average sales price is $220,000 sounds like a really nice sale. And this guy has been looking for over 2 years. And he's like, you don't have to send me anything because, you know, I see what comes on the market all the time. So you don't have to send it to me. And I'm like, all right, what I want you to do is I want you to go door knock the areas that he wants to buy a house. And the first weekend she went door knocking, she found him a house and called him. And he's like, I have been looking for over 2 years and you found me the place the first weekend. So talk about now an advocate, right? He's an evangelist for her. If you're genuine, that's value because some people just aren't. Yeah, absolutely. I do mortgages as well. So you understand that part of it. Business owner with 20 years of business experience. I used to tell my clients that if I think you're making a bad business decision, I'm going to tell you 3 times, and then I'm going to shut up and take my commission. But I'm going to tell you 3 times if I think you're making a bad business decision. Negotiation, stress buster, problem solver, all those. Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Social media marketing, your community you belong to, military or equine. Yeah, totally. Totally. Okay. So get clear on what your value is. So before we move on, write down at least 1 or 2 things that where you bring value, that you would want to make sure people know that you're bringing value to the real estate transaction. So all the things I've been reading from the chat, all the things we're talking about, what are the 1 or 2 that you really can relate to? Sometimes I think it's easy to just sit back there and passively be listening and, you know, sort of typing in chat, but not doing the work. So write at least a couple things down. All right. So what matters most to buyers and sellers? And there is absolute, would you use the restaurant tip analysis? Heck yes, Sean, I would use the restaurant tip versus an agent commission with a potential client. Yes, I would. And I have. When they start, you know, saying, well, gee, you know, it's a really expensive house. Like maybe you shouldn't. Okay. When you go to a really, really nice restaurant and you get exquisite service, do you tip less? Just because it's more dollars? No, of course not. I'm going to warn you guys though. I have to be really careful because I fall into snark so easy. I have to be so careful. So with clients, I have to really, really watch it because I don't want to, I don't want to get snarky. And it's just, it can get that way too easy. So I have to be very careful. You guys are probably nicer people than I am though, so it's okay. All right. So it's really simple, right? Like what do buyers and sellers want? So for buyers, their goal is to find the right home at the right price at the right time with the least number of problems. The sellers, it's to net the most money in the shortest amount of time with the least number of problems. Okay, so it's clear on what people want. We need to make sure that when we're working with them, that we're clear that we understand their goal, what they're looking for, and how we can help them get that. I like to ask clients when we're first getting to know each other, can you describe for me the best real estate experience you've ever had? And sometimes they haven't had one. Okay, so then can you describe for me the best sales experience you've ever had? What made it good? What about the worst one you've ever had? What made it bad? So that I can get a sense of what are their triggers? Like, oh, they're going to love if I do this. They're going to hate if I do that. That's really good. I had an engineer one time that told me he wanted me to make sure that that he netted exactly what I told him he was gonna net. I'm like, well, there's a reason we call it estimates, but I'll do my best. And I got it within $50. Like his net was within 50. Normally I would have padded it and had him get like $500 more than I told him. But I got it within 50 and he was mad because like this fee was higher and that one was lower. I can't help. I don't know. Remember, I'm not compliant. I do my best. So if their goal is to find the right home at the best price in the right time with the least number of problems, how does that fit in today's market? Right? Like, how does this fit in market?
I think a lot of sellers are having a hard time even finding a place because, like you said, they're all going for over asking, you know, they're putting in multiple offers. You know, I know a couple friends that have looked for like months and months and not gotten accepted.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So in today's market, to say that, oh, what buyers want is to find just the right home at the best price in the right time with the least number of problems might not be a promise we can deliver. It might not be a promise we can deliver. I think we might want to consider, how do we want to language this for buyers today, right? I heard something that was really great. It said, you know, your first house is never your perfect house. Your first house is the one that you get into so you can start building up equity so you can get your second house. And then your second house is the one that you build up so you can get your third house. And then when you get to your fourth house, we can be talking about whether or not it's your perfect house. I did interview somebody a month or so ago, and she talked about the new every two. Have you guys ever heard of new every two? Well, we used to talk about it with cars, and that's not a great thing. But think about new every two in homes. So if you buy a new home every 2 years, you've got two options. You can buy it, live in it for 2 years, and then sell it after 2 years, hopefully fixing it up so that you have a gain. If you've lived in it for 2 years, there is no taxable gain on that income because you lived in it for 2 years, right? Up to $500,000 per couple, and then you buy the next house. Bigger, do the same thing, improve it, sell it, no taxable income, do it again. Or you buy one, live in it for 2 years, build up your savings, rent it out, buy the next one. Do that, rent that one out, buy the next one. Rent that out, buy the next one. So I think we need to be reframing for buyers right now on their expectations of, this is not your parents' real estate market. Now, I bought my first house when I was 21 years old and the interest rate was 13.5%. So don't whine to me about sevens, y'all. Don't whine to me about sevens. Yeah. But sellers, I think, always have the same thing, right? Although sellers have the added complexity right now is that they're afraid that they're not going to find the next house. So they are a little bit worried about that. Okay, so the top 10 service areas of the buyer value proposition. One is needs analysis. Please do not be an order taker. Please be a consultant. Ask better questions. Dig deeper. Tell me more about that. What does that look like? How will you recognize it? What's important about that? Dig, 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 dig. And the better job you do in the needs analysis, the happier they will be. They really will. I would very much like to remove number 2, the language of number 2 from our vocabulary forever. What about this? And like, people don't remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. Yes, thank you. Okay, so when you say, hey, are you pre-qualified? That makes you feel good, right?
No.
Or are you pre-approved? Like, stop with that. How about this? Have you met with a lender to determine the best financing strategy to achieve your long-term needs? Have you met with a lender to determine the best financing strategy to meet your long-term needs? Now, or maybe you're considering paying cash, right? Like, doesn't that feel better than, are you pre-qualified? Like, oh, I would like for us to stop using that language altogether. That just feels so icky to me. Yeah, it's like walking into a car dealership. I know that I have plenty of money and my credit's fantastic, but walking in a car dealership, I still feel icky because they're gonna go make you talk to the finance guy. Yuck. It's never fun. Ew. Yeah, okay, so let's not do that. Say it once more. Have you met with a lender to determine the best financing strategy to meet your long-term needs? So yeah, so needs analysis, not an order taker, needs analysis. Pre-qualification, no, financing strategy. Neighborhood information, yes, they want neighborhood information, not as much as they used to, and be careful that they're not better informed than you are. Home search. Take an MLS class. Find out all the stuff that's available through your MLS. It is amazing to me how much stuff is available through the MLS, and most of us have no idea because we never took the time to go look. How to make an offer and understanding the right price to offer, and when is it a bad business decision? And Rachel put it in the chat. Have you met with a lender to determine your best financing strategy to meet your long-term needs? Thank you, Rachel. Negotiating to buy. I think we should take classes on negotiation. I really do. Like, we're out there saying we're great, negotiators. Well, are you? Are you? Like, I will tell you, I thought I was, and then my 14-year-old could out negotiate me, like nobody's business. So are you really? Vendor coordination, that's a big one. Pre-close preparation, closing and post-closing, right? So having all those are the 10 top service areas. So make sure that you're thinking about each of those processes. And I'm a big fan of chunking it down and saying, okay, what's my process for number one? What's my process? So I meet you, we have a conversation, we're going to have an appointment, we're going to do a needs analysis. My needs analysis follows this format. If you would have told me that I would have been a systems geek, if you would have told me 10 years ago, I would have told you to stop smoking that because it was bad for you. Yeah, and here I am, I'm a systems geek. Now, because I understand that, as you know, my personality is a driver's personality, that I'm more efficient and more effective when I have a good system. If a customer says they've not been to a lender in New York City, you can't bother. Oh, if they say they haven't been to a lender, great. Would you like for me to introduce you to my lender so you can figure out your financing strategy? Because in today's market, we want to be completely prepared. Yeah, we want to be completely prepared because often we have a very tight deadline from looking at the property to making an offer. So we need to know, are there negotiation training courses offered by KW? There's one called Win-Win Negotiations. Yeah, negotiation keywords, BATNA, alternatives, concessions, bargaining, and active listening. Yeah, all sorts of great stuff there. You're welcome, Jessica. So just because Keller Williams has a class doesn't mean it's actually on a calendar someplace. But all of our classes are free downloads. You can just free download the materials and go through them yourself. And honestly, if you want to learn something really good, offer to teach it. You'll get good, I promise. All right, so think about breaking each of these into a process and writing a process for each of these service areas. When I make an offer, this is the process that I go through. When I am negotiating, this is the process I go through. If you start thinking about chunking it down and creating a process, then as you grow, if you bring people onto your team, you have a process for somebody else to follow. So often people bring buyer's agents on. But they don't have a system for them to follow. So it's just sort of, sink or swim. Now, when it comes to a seller, again, needs analysis. I like to ask, if we were sitting here, if we were sitting someplace in a coffee shop 6 months from now, and this had been the most amazing process of selling your home, what would it have to happen for that to be the best process ever? Like, what are their things that are going to be their triggers? Let me find out what they are. Pricing strategy, property preparation. We used to call that staging. Marketing strategy, receiving an offer, negotiating, selling, pre-close preparation, closing, and post-closing. There's lots of different pieces. And again, you can do a little process for each one. What buyers mostly want. I find this fascinating because, well, this is 2021 profile of home buyers and home sellers from NAR. 52% say they want help finding the right home to purchase. And yet, when you ask people, as a real estate agent, when you ask people, they're like, I got that part. Most of them get down to like, negotiate the terms of sale, the price, understanding the process, right? That's what they say they want. But yet when they ask, when NAR asks them, they say they want help finding the right house. Okay, great. So that's why I turn around from the house you fall in love with to the home you'll love living in. Because sometimes they forget that living in the house is a different experience. The factors that buyers value in choosing an agent: honest and trustworthy, the agent's experience, their reputation. So for those of you who are new, agent experience was only 19%. They don't care. Honestly, it's about reputation. It's about relationship. It's really about relationship and building that relationship. And when you have that relationship with people that they know they can trust you, I tell new people that when you're out marketing, say, you know, nobody is going to care more than me. And I have 500 years of experience behind me at the office. Don't you? I mean, I don't know if we added it up, but you probably do, right? You know, nobody's going to care more than me. And I am backed up by however many years. Like, do the math, figure it out. It'd be kind of interesting. Yeah. See, Madeline, you're fine. Yep, you're fine. What sellers want. They want help to price their home competitively, market the home to potential buyers, sell the home in a front time frame, fix it up to sell for more money or other. So, you know, I think part of this to me demonstrates that they're not really clear on what help they need. I don't think they're really clear on what help they need. It's just sort of all over the board. So I find this really fascinating, which is an opportunity for us to go in with our value proposition and demonstrate that we actually can help them in ways that they weren't even sure they needed. Best way to sell things. What do sellers look for? The reputation, honest and trustworthy. A handful want a friend or a family member. 44% say other. What do we do with a FSBO when they believe they can get more money on their own? Jamila, you could use that same survey script. Right? Because, I mean, research shows over and over again that selling on their own, they actually get less money. They get less money. It's just the way it works. What do factors look for? We did that one. Okay. So start with your sphere. Please start with your sphere. Your sphere is the first place that you're going to find people that have a real estate problem they need help with. Start with your sphere. If you haven't gotten the Command app on your phone, like Matt and Alana have done a fantastic job of adding technology all the way through Ignite on this, which I'm super excited for you because when you're done, you're going to actually have your whole process all in place. So super, super helpful. Okay, couple of ahas.
I really liked how you reframed the services that we do and how each of them needs to have a process. I really liked your financing strategy versus pre-qualification. That was very well worded. I've noticed throughout almost everything you talked about that is beyond just a thought or an idea or a mindset, that you're giving practical examples of scripts that we would want to use. And yeah, do you offer coaching? Are you available?
Oh my God, I've got the same question.
I am, but I am. I'm not sure you guys want to pay for me right now. Yeah, I do. Although find me, send me a message because I have some online stuff that's affordable. How's that?
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
I'm not sure like if I'm gonna get in trouble if I tell you guys. My website is virtualrealestatetrainer.com. virtualrealestatetrainer.com. My aha was the survey, especially the persistence and guiding back to answering numerical guess alternative close on appointment. Where do you find real estate research like the FSBO money earned? There's a lot of that research in the book Shift. It's also in, you can go to NAR, and NAR always has this kind of stuff. Alex found his value statement. Excellent. The survey script again was up higher in the chat. Not pre-approved. Yes, financial strategy, Nicole, financial strategy. Know your value and show it. Value to break the ice when speaking with veterans, introduce different military skills and experience to relate to. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, Lori, you have your hand up.
Yes. I'm trying to put on video, so I'm not being rude. I had a showing tonight, and I also have, I'm broke. I'm the brokest realtor you'll ever find. I have been listening to Ignite on my cell phone. I went through 3 batteries yesterday in the 2-hour class. I'm desperate for help. I know I've got it in me, and I cannot tell you how much the person prior to me, how she stated that, it just completely mirrors. I'm amazed that she was reading my mind, because you have a gift of language, and I want some of that. And so my aha though is really that, wow, that is what I need, was that survey script, but I need a lot more from you. I just can't afford it. But that's what I wanted to tell you, is how important that short time I spent with you, what a, you know, I haven't eaten all day, but basically I just want to make sure that you know that. And what is that value? virtualrealestatetrainer.com.
Virtualrealestatetrainer.
Yes. And I do have I had a quick question. Oh my God. Oh yes. Will you be doing another class?
Not in this session.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Not in this session.
So
and
we can send you an email or something at your website?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's actually a decent amount of stuff on there free. And if you follow Coach Pam O'Brien on Instagram, I have a fair amount of, scripts and dialogues on there. I do try to put out a fair amount. And Shanna wins. Don't claim brokenness, y'all. Don't
I
claim.
never have done that before. When my phone died just 10 minutes ago, and my charger wasn't working, I said, this is it. This is the bottom. And I've never actually claimed it, especially not publicly. So sorry, y'all.
You know what? And I will say that it's okay to be broke, but never claim poor, because poor is a mindset and broke is a temporary condition.
Yes. I listened to videos about 5 times a day. And something never claim broke.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Was that?
Yeah. Broke is a temporary condition and poor is a mindset. So Instagram is Coach Pam O'Brien. All right, Coach.
Okay.
Pam O'Brien. There. Coach Pam O'Brien on Instagram.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Any other there's actually a couple other things, but I think we have covered the vast majority of what we really needed to cover. And it sounds like from the messages that you guys felt like you got. I've got a few minutes. If you guys have anything that I've been Keller Williams 27 years. I'm master faculty. I have done it all. Open to anything. Ask any question you want.
Did you discuss I'm Jennifer from Ann Arbor. Did you discuss the solution for the commission question when we go meet with the people? What are we to say these days?
So give me an example of who and what you're talking about, because there's all sorts of answers around that, but I need a situation.
Okay, I'm gonna list your house. How much is your commission? George, you'll do it for 5%, now with the new rule, at least so I just wanted your opinion on how to approach it.
Yeah, so keeping in mind that commissions are negotiable and they are not set by law or practice. Let's just say that I were out and I'm at a listing appointment and somebody says, well, so-and-so said they'll do it for 5%. I respect and understand that. So I'm curious, what part of that goes to George and what part of that might be split with what part of that might be split with a buyer's agent or a buyer brokerage who brings the buyer. And so that, because nothing in the settlement says that we cannot share commissions. What it says is we can't put it in the MLS. So because they wanted more transparency, we have to make it less transparent. I'm not sure how that works, but so I would ask that question, and I'm just going to give you an example, keeping in mind that this is an example. This is not setting commissions. This is not a free trade, fair trade, like none of those things. In the 2000s, in the 2000s, like 2008, when 95% of homes in California were distressed sales. Okay. There was a guy on a panel and he was listing over 200 homes a year. Got it? 200 homes a year. He's successful. 95% of these are distressed homes. He would go in and he'd go value, value, value. This is what I do. 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 I give you all this value. You want this value, right? Yes, I want this value. Great. I charge 4.5% for me. How much would you like to offer the buyer's agent? And the reason we want to offer a commission to the buyer's agent is that it brings us the greatest number of people looking at your home, which generates the highest sales price and the most money in your pocket at the end of the day, which is what you want, isn't it? Okay, so I think I think we have to be careful of a scarcity mindset. And I think we have to be very, very aware of the value that we bring. And if you are afraid that you're charging too much money for the value that you bring, then go be more valuable. Go be more valuable.
Understood.
What would be more valuable? And that's for everybody. What would make you more valuable? And, these attorneys in this class action lawsuit are getting 40%.
Right.
Because we made 3.
Right. And we only make 1.5.
Well, I mean, honestly, you should make, you should make whatever you think is fair. Bye, Jamila. I think you should make whatever is fair. Like, could I convince people that I'm worth 4.5%? Yeah, I can. And then I'm going to find out how much we want to offer to the buyer's agent, because we are going to offer money to the buyer's agent. Because I know that's going to bring you the most money. And I know my value and I'm not selling myself short. And you need to just build that confidence. All 115 of you that are here need to build that confidence that you know what you're worth. And so then when you say no.
So when you run into that situation, you negotiate the buyer's commission. So then when the buyer agent comes up to you and says, you get 2%, I get 3%, whatever it is. Are they building into their new buyer related, real estate, what's the word? Representation contract that they can get up to 3% and that the buyers will pay the difference if that's what they're looking for too? So on the other side?
This sounds like a conversation you should have with your broker or team leader, probably your broker, or your compliance broker, right? Because different brokerages are handling it slightly differently. When I represent a buyer, I get at least 3%, at
Right.
least. And I have a minimum. Because I know my value.
Correct. That's how I am too.
So
Yes.
if you're gonna buy a $50,000 house, that's great. My minimum's $5,000.
Right. I know you build that in as if you sell, I do commercial and investments. So when the business sale is very low, 50,000, 60,000, I'll just say I need a straight, 2,500. If you do rentals, same thing. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. You were great.
Thank you. Somebody was asking about recordings. They will be sent out to you later. I think they have to process them all and things. I did hit record. I'm very proud. And you guys all had to, yeah, I was forget to do that. Okay, anything else? No, we're at 8:02. Bam, look at that. Oh, Nicole, do I have any advice for you? Yes. Understand the market and learn some good dialogues about setting appointments. Learn good dialogues about setting appointments. And if the survey script works for you, do the survey script. And then understand the market, because you're going to get asked constantly about the market. So have a great answer to that. That leads to an appointment. Practice, 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 practice. Don't be nervous. Look, go find business, then find somebody in your office to help you. The hard part is finding the business. Go get the business and then find somebody to help you, because you can earn while you learn. And even if you gave somebody some of that money, you still would make. Yeah. I forgot the review. What review? What review? Did I forget a review? Is there something else I was supposed to do?
No, last night with the class, in fact, with both of them, he put up the QR code for us to leave a review.
Oh, a survey.
Yeah, survey. I'm sorry, I had the wrong name.
Hold on. Maybe they, you know what? Maybe they emailed me something. Let me check. Maybe they sent me something.
I would have left you a really good review.
Okay, let's see. Wish he would have given me one of those. Oh, here. Oh, okay. Oh, that's it. Go to KWU eval.
Okay.
KWU eval. And then you have to type, let's see, no. So it's in virtual. Yeah, so just do, I'm going to put it in chat. So kwueval.com. KW eval. And then my name's Pam O'Brien. Yep. KWeval.com. Go there. I don't have a QR code. Sorry. So you had the tech guy yesterday.
Oh, I guess. Anyway.
The grandma with the gray hair, not the tech guy.
Well, thank you. It was wonderful. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm glad you're here. Okay. Anybody else?
Thanks, Pam.
You're very
Pam,
welcome.
that's a limiting belief.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. Thanks, Desiree. Oh man.
Just, like I said, the accountability was my favorite 6 personal perspectives.
I can tell. Military? Are you military?
My hubby is.
Yeah, mine too. Mine too. Okay, cool. All right. If I can help anybody with anything, PamOB@kw.com. I'm easy to find. KW.com. Yeah, email me. I'm in the white pages. I'm under master faculty in there. If you're looking at master faculty, I'm around. So if I can help, I'm open. Just, send me a message and I'm here.
Thank you, Pam.
You're very welcome. All right, you guys, be good.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank
Bye.
Thank you.